Hi guys, and welcome to our first online coaching workshop. My name's Matt Cook. I'm going to walk you through our junior coaching workshop. Basically, we're just going to talk a little bit firstly about our coaching workshops. Cairns Hockey have identified that we need to get a little bit more information out to the local coaches. So what we're going to try and do is pass on as many resources and as much information as we can to the local coaches to try and improve the standard of coaching in Cairns. Where we're going to do them, you'll be able to come in on a Wednesday night, roughly every 6 weeks, all right, and we're going to present to you a half an hour coaching workshop on a number of different topics. If you can't make it, we'll try and produce this and get it up online via YouTube or Dropbox. When, as I said, roughly every 6 weeks we're going to aim to try and do this. And why? Because we're going to try and give as much information out to the clubs, because knowledge is power. Basically, each workshop is going to have 3 topics. The first topic that we're going to cover is effective preparation. By effective preparation, what I'm talking about is not necessarily our warm-up phase with stretching and run-throughs and all that. It's about on the ball preparing for a training session or on the balls preparing for a game. And when we're warming up for a game on the balls, what do we want to see? Alright, do we want to see stagnant people standing still, not moving their hands and feet and just passing in lines? Or do we want to see activity? Do we want to see something with relevance or a purpose? Alright, I think it's really important that we do something that's relevant to the game of hockey rather than standing still. It's very unlikely if you watch a game of international hockey that you see an athlete standing still to receive a pass or standing still to make a pass. Everything we do is on the move, so I think it's important we incorporate some of that into our warm-up. Again, making sure we prepare right. Just a nice little quote that really sums up the importance of our preparation. Things to cover in our warm-up. What we're going to talk about today is our receiving skills. Making sure we're mobile when we receive the ball. Receive in motion, you'll see there with the little abbreviation. Also, once we receive the ball, then controlling the ball, how we want to carry the ball, and then how we want to feed or pass the ball to the next phase. I'm going to get you to have a look at this next little video clip here. Alright, and just look at a number of examples that we've witnessed with some of the Cairns coaching sessions and Cairns warm-ups. You notice in example 1 here, the athlete doesn't move their feet a lot, and it's a pretty stationary receive. In example 2, we receive on the move, we can carry on the move, and then pass on the move. It's much more relevant to hockey these days. You'll notice the technical difference in example 2. The athlete has their foot back a little bit, and you can cradle the ball and receive on the move rather than having your feet square. Again, similar example here on the reverse. You want to be able to receive the ball upright on the move on the reverse. There's just a couple of examples, guys, but I'm sure there's heaps more that we can look at. Just a couple of key points for that. Body position. You notice the knees are slightly bent to cradle the ball to be able to receive on the move. Hand position. Athletes are executing the correct grip. Alright, and their feet, as I said, the feet are slightly on an angle so you can cradle the ball and control it. Again, if we get all that right, we can then receive the ball in motion and pass on the move. Moving on to our next topic, alright, is carrying the ball. Alright, making sure once we receive it, we can carry the ball correctly. We're lucky enough this week to have Matthew Wells from the Queensland Academy of Sport do a little presentation to us about carrying the ball.
So this week we're going to work on our ball carrying position. If we get this right, it's going to create more options for us, and we're going to have plenty of vision. When I'm carrying the ball, I like to have it in this 1 o'clock position. This is something that I was told by one of our Toowoomba coaches, Terry Cairns, how he describes it, and I think it's pretty spot on to when you're carrying the ball. So if it's 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, we want that ball to be in the 1 o'clock position. If you were carrying the ball at 12 o'clock, we move it across to the middle here, we can have it in the middle of our feet. My stance close up, square up a little bit. Okay, my vision's down, I can't quite see across to my right. I'm very limited to what I can do. The other thing is it's actually hard to pass to the right hand side, so it's easy for an opponent to pick what I'm going to do and also dictate where I'm going to have to go. So if I was to make a pass from 12 o'clock, I'm very restricted to either having to shovel it out this way or have to try and dig it out of my reverse, or even worse, have to take an extra touch, pull it outside to make a pass, or likewise to the other side. We want to eliminate the extra touches on the ball. So what I find optimal is, okay, shifting the ball just outside the right foot. So when we're carrying it on our forestick, okay, I find the body turns slightly, okay, therefore it opens up. I can still see down the line, I can also see it across to the middle of the field. I've also got the ball in a nice strong position on the forestick, okay, stick on ball, I can make it pass whatever I like. Alternatively, if the pass is not there, I've also got the option to be able to pull across to my body to make an elimination. So if I'm carrying the ball in a nice strong position outside, when I approach the defender, okay, I can quite easily look to the inside, I can make a nice strong pass, continue on, making sure that I get the ball back in a nice strong position on the forestick again, okay, eliminating the defender. Or alternatively, I can still carry the ball in the same position, still show the inside of the pass, try and suck the defender in and pull to the outside. So by carrying the ball in this optimal position, I create more than one opportunity, as well as holding the ball in a nice strong position. So if you take this skill all the way back to juniors when you're starting out as a kid, okay, a good way of practicing it I think is actually using the sideline. Okay, carrying the ball where your feet are tucked in on one side of the line, the ball's out on the outside. So we're out here in a nice strong position. Okay, we don't want to be carrying the ball at 3 o'clock back here where it's beside us. We actually want to get the ball out in front of us a bit more at that 1 o'clock position. So as they get older and they develop the skills, okay, that's when we can then progress onto what we've shown today. We'd like to see you next week.
Thanks for that, Matt, and thanks to the Hockey Zone for giving us that footage. So just in summary, it's really key for this one that we have a better position of the ball. It's out in that 1 o'clock position. Our body position, again, nice and low, making sure our hands are also out in front of our body as well. Finally, the last little phase of our movement, we've got our receive, we've got our carrying, now we want to feed or be able to pass the ball correctly. First example here, again taken from a warm-up.
You ready?
Alrighty, you'll notice there's two examples there. In the first example, it's a common mistake and it's a common thing that we've got to address at Cairns hockey is athletes push passing the ball, but they're actually really slapping the ball. You heard a really big noise, we'll watch it again. Just listen to the noise that the athlete makes when they push the ball.
You ready?
Whereas in the second example, there's no noise when the push is made. He actually pushes the ball off his right foot. Right, so by doing that, by keeping the stick on the ball, you can push the ball off both feet, and you can push the ball with deception if the stick's on the ball. If the stick lifts off the ball, it's very, very hard to be able to pass with deception. Again, stick on ball, that's the key when we're making a pass. The stick's got to stay on the ball. Position of the ball, make sure it's out in front of our body, and then our hands and our arms have to follow that and be away from our body as well. Right. So, they're the skills we want to cover in our warm-up. We want to be able to receive the ball in motion. We want to be able to carry the ball dynamically and have it in that 1 o'clock position, and then we want to pass effectively. Here's a couple of examples that I thought were really effective examples of a warm-up from a Cairns A-grade men's side. I believe this is from Brothers A-grade men, and here's a few examples. So the back four, again, are receiving the ball, moving it like they would in a game. It's relevant. Okay, they're holding their pattern, they're passing over distance, and they're receiving on the move. The strikers over in this far corner, it's quite hard to see, but they're playing a little 3-on-3 possession game. So again, they're executing things that are relevant to their specific position. They're in amongst the action, they've got to receive the ball under pressure and pass the ball on the move. And then you have some strikers keeping the keeper up from a number of different angles. Notice the strikers are using a variety of shots as well, the forestick and the backstick. Also, brothers time their warm-up well enough to get some penalty corner practice in as well. I think you might only get a couple of penalty corners, so you've got to make sure you can execute a penalty corner and have a few practice runs before their game. Finally, just one more point on the warm-up. I think it's really important you do something the athletes enjoy. Okay, so if the athletes don't enjoy the warm-up, their negative energy or negative vibes may translate into a slow or sluggish start. If the athletes enjoy that last phase of their warm-up, a lot of the time I've found that carries on to a positive start to the game. Alright. How do you do this, guys? Alright, so I want us to have a look at a couple of examples here on the whiteboard. How do you think we conduct a warm-up session? Alright, being able to pass on the move and receive on the move rather than just having two lines of people hit up. Anyone? Got our circle here, 25, halfway. We've got this half of the field to warm up to the game. What do you think we can do? Yep, three-man weaves, that's a good suggestion. Alright, so basically if you're not familiar with three-man weaves, what you can do is get three lines of people here, pass the ball to one side, this player picks it up, passes to this player over here, and you effectively are just wrapping and passing and moving into the circle. Yes, it executes all three of the basics that we've just spoken about. Receiving on the move, carrying the ball, and then passing on the move. That's a good suggestion. Any more, guys? Yep. Again, another good example is mini games. Like you saw there, a little 3-on-3, 4-on-4. Break it off into a little square or a little area here. Alright, maybe a possession game, or if you want, you can put some little goals here and play a 4v4 in this area, giving your other defenders or other strikers some room to warm up over here as well. Alright. Moving on to our second topic of the day. So we've done the warm-up. I want to talk about our next topic, not just targets. So this is talking about goalkeepers in training. In the first month of hockey, from what I've witnessed in training, a lot of focus is on the outfield players, and the goalkeepers are a little bit neglected in our training sessions. Right. How do we train our goalkeepers? Do we just set up 3 bins and just hit 50 balls at them and think, yep, that's great, that's the goalkeeping section of training covered? Right, what do we want to avoid with our goalkeepers? Alright, what I think we need to avoid, obviously, is lack of activity. We want to keep the goalkeepers engaged. They're a valuable asset for our side. We need to keep them engaged in trainings. Right, we need to keep them improving and learning. Alright, obviously, if a goalkeeper's scared or just developing, alright, we don't want to throw them in situations where they're going to feel uncomfortable. Alright, so we've got to be mindful of that as well. Just done a couple of goalkeeping sessions for some of our under 15s, alright, and just looked at a few different ways that we can work out in our training session.
Still playing. No. Ready?
Yeah. When you're ready. And just one more, boys. Ready.
Basically, the idea behind this little training session here was the coach came up to me and said, "Matt, I want you to work with the goalkeeper here. He's making the first save really well, but he's struggling to follow up and make consecutive saves." So the idea behind this training session was to have multiple phases coming at him. So he may make the first save, and then there's going to be a rebound coming at him. And if he saves that, then there might be a deflection to finish off, or a one-on-one to finish off. The idea is to, I suppose, customise it so your goalkeepers engage and can improve on things they need to work on. Rather than just having balls hit on them time and time again, make it relevant to the goalkeeper. You'll notice the last section of the video clip there, we had the goalkeeper actually starting the drill by making a kick to the athlete running onto the ball. I think that's an important part of training as well, especially if you're running a flow-through drill. There's no reason why the goalkeeper can't kick the ball to a player to start the drill, to learn how to control those kicks as well. That's a valuable skill they need to develop. Alright, the last topic, guys, that we're going to cover, it's just going to be short and sweet, but I want to talk about a program called Hockey Plus. Hockey Plus is an initiative developed through Hockey Australia. It's been sent out to us, and unfortunately I've added this to our Dropbox. In our Dropbox there's a number of coaching resources, but Hockey Plus is one of them. The idea behind Hockey Plus, basically the institutes, the state programs, have been taking some tests and developing some skill-based tests with their athletes, and they feel as if the quality of athletes has actually diminished over the last 10 or so years. Basically, we think this is due to the fact that these days in schools and kids growing up, they're not as active, and there's a lot of restrictions on doing handstands and stuff like that for the safety of the athlete. You don't see kids jumping fences and climbing trees and doing cartwheels and stuff as much these days. With that happening, we find the kids that we're picking up in high performance programs aren't as well-rounded athletes as what we used to pick up. So basically, Hockey Plus is a program that we can roll out through junior clubs and junior programs to try and develop better athletes. And basically, it's not doing push-ups or sit-ups or anything with the young kids. It's doing fun stuff that will keep them engaged, but will have benefit to them and make them better athletes in the long term. So basically, guys, we've got our Dropbox set up. In the Dropbox, you'll find a folder called Hockey Plus, and there's some examples of their drills, their session plans, and heaps of cool stuff. So go in and check that out. And if you'd like any more information about it, just give us a contact, and we'll get on to you with that. Guys, thanks heaps for attending the first coaching workshop. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as I said, if you'd like any more information or you've got any questions, please feel free to contact us. I'll put our links to our email addresses in the description. Thanks guys, cheers.